Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new, my name is Kerwin, and today I'm going to do a full review on this item. This is the universal luggage rack for the Can-Am Ryker. We're going to look at the specifications of this item, and we're also going to do an installation. So let's get into it. Here's a close-up view. The bracket is approximately 7 inches wide by approximately 14 inches deep, with a reinforcement beam on the underside. There are also 4 mounting points. We have 2 holes on the bottom here and an additional 2 holes on the side. That bracket evolved from our earlier designs, where it was actually pretty big, about 14 inches by 22 inches long, with this massive reinforcing beam at the bottom, very similar to what you see on the market today. And that beam is welded on just like everybody else. We quickly abandoned this design because of the mounting points. Here they are, these 4 holes, so very similar to what's on the market today. The problem is those 4 holes utilizes these tiny screws that actually were meant to keep the mud flap in place. So if you do the math, these little screws really need to be twice as long in order to support the weight that we want to mount back here. And here's the problem. When we remove the mud flap so we can get to those screw holes, what we find is that the screw hole actually isn't deep enough to get the screw all the way in. This is actually called a 2-to-1 ratio rule, in which if you're going to support weight in the back of a vehicle like this, the hole needs to be twice as deep as the screw is wide. It's called a 2-to-1 ratio rule. And unfortunately, these holes from Can-Am just aren't deep enough. So instead of using these screws, I redesigned the bracket to use these larger bolts. These larger bolts mean that we're able to support a lot more weight. So here is the bolts that we'll be using to do the installation. They're M8 bolts, stainless steel. And what's nice about these things is they are compliant to ISO standards, which means that they can actually support up to 70,000 pounds per square inch as their tensile strength before they break. So these are the bolts that we decided to use to install the new bracket. So step 1 of the installation, we're going to remove this rubber cap here and just pull that straight down. And the bottom half of it is actually kind of wrapped around the stock bolts that are down there. So you just want to slide that rubber boot off, and then you're just going to pull that rubber right out. Next, we're going to remove the 4 screws holding the mud flap in place. We will be reinstalling the mud flap because without it, the driver's seat is exposed and will deteriorate over time. Okay, so now we're going to remove these 2 bolts from the passenger backrest itself. I like to use vice grips to hold on to the nut because I just can't get my hand in there. You're going to back these bolts out, and these are the only 2 bolts you're going to remove from the bike at this time. Once you remove the nuts, just slide each bolt out. Okay guys, so now we just align the bracket, and we're going to use those new bolts to assemble it at this point. Just slide those through. We haven't even put the nuts in yet. We're just going to show you that the bracket really is engineered to withstand a lot of weight. So we're using a cinder block. Average US cinder block is 27 to 36 pounds. So That's a lot of weight on a bracket that's not even fully installed yet. Just like before, I like to use a pair of vice grips because I just can't get my hand in there. So I'm going to hold the bolt, the nut actually, with the vice grip, and now tighten the bolts down. You will get the specifications for how tight to make all of this in the installation package. So now what we're going to do is flip the bracket up so that we can get to the bolts at the bottom of the passenger seat. Once we have access to them, we're going to remove them. And again, I'm going to use that trick with the vice grips just to hold on to the nuts so that I could remove these two bolts right here. Now we flip the bracket down and we finish the installation with the last of the two bolts. All right, see how well the bracket mounts above the mud flap. It's nice and thin. That way you have zero chance of bottoming out, guys. So you're gonna get full suspension travel with this bracket. The next step is to just go online, Amazon, eBay, Walmart, wherever you wanna shop, and just choose the luggage case that fits your budget and needs. This one I got off of eBay. I bought this, God, it's got to be about 8 months now. It was only about $40 with free shipping. I checked this price recently, and these things have gone up. They're like $44 now. But again, just choose whatever you like, and all you have to do now is match up the holes to my bracket and tighten everything down. Once you tighten it down, you just follow the instructions that come with your whatever case you choose. So here are the advantages of purchasing this universal luggage rack. First, you get to keep your mud flap, so you won't be destroying your driver's seat there. Two, you get to keep the fold-in passenger backrest, which is really important. High-speed driving on the highway, things like that, you know your passenger is safe. Number three, you get to keep 100% of the suspension travel on your bike. Number four, no need to adjust the preload on your shocks. Number five, there is absolutely no welding to hold the bracket together. It is all engineered to perfection. Number six, I follow the best practice. Remember that 2-to-1 ratio rule. For it to support all of that weight, guys, I need that little hole under the mud flap to be twice as deep as it is, and it just isn't. So I totally abandoned that design. That allowed me to go to step number 7, which is the best advantage here. You get to use the 8mm through bolts with the ISO specifications, so you know you're getting the best available hardware to assemble this. Number 8, the bracket itself is made out of 100% stainless steel. That's important. That means every time the tire kicks up road debris and scrapes off any kind of paint or anything, you know it's not going to rust. It's stainless steel. You get a functional weight load of 20 pounds. Now, I made this thing to support well over 80 pounds, but you never run your brackets at their maximum weight load. That's going to give you longevity, and this thing's going to last as long as your bike. So 20 pounds is still better than the 15 pounds from the competition, and I can prove what my brackets are able to hold in terms of weight. Number 10, everything is laser cut, and there are angles in the cut so that there are no stress points on the metal once we form it into shape. And that helps to make sure that our metal never flexes or cracks or break. The weight of this thing is less than 3 pounds. It is exactly 2 pounds, 14 ounces. 2 pounds and 14 ounces kicks butt. I love this. I love this bracket. And my number one love of this bracket is 13. It is trail ready for off-road travel. That means you can beat on this thing when you're out there drifting, going over rocks, whatever, and this bracket is going to take the beating. That's part because of the stainless steel, because of the bolts, because of the quality of the construction. Hey guys, I'm out there every weekend on the trails, and I want my Ryker to do what it was meant to do, which is ride up and down on the road, but also ride up and down on the trails. So why not have accessories that do both? My pre-order discount is still going to be honored, even though I lowered the price a little. And I'm going to be honest, this costs more than the competition, but you're also getting a lot more. But I did lower the price. I did listen to you guys. I am going to keep the pre-order discount, so follow the link below and take advantage of that. Sale ends August 18th. August 18th is the target date for my crew. They're hoping to have all of these brackets assembled for you. It still has to go out and get powder coated. We still need to wait for our ISO bracket, our ISO bolts, and we still have to package all of this. So we're hoping to have this stuff out the door September 1st of this year. So take advantage of that pre-discount, guys. This bracket is going to come in somewhere around like what, $145 or something like that for you if you do the pre-discount. With that said, I had a lot of fun making this video for you. I know it was very long, and I thank you for, devoting the time to watch this whole video. So you guys be well. Please follow the link in the description for further information. Reach out to me if you have any questions whatsoever. And just ride safe, be well, take care of your family, take care of each other, and I'll see you in the next video.